So you bought an iPod, loaded it with your favorite music, and now you want to take it on the road. But with several car adapters on the market, what's the best way to get your iPod to work with your car stereo? You can go wireless. Small and convenient, yes, but audio quality is less than optimum and reception can be sketchy. You can also go with a cassette adapter. That is, if you have a cassette deck and you don't mind a bunch of cable floating around in your cabin. And while some car stereos are now equipped with auxiliary inputs, they still don't power the iPod. You'll need an extra adapter for that. But after doing a little research, we think we may have found the perfect iPod car kit. It's called the Neo Ion from Neo Car Audio. So what makes the Ion such a good choice?
Hi, I'm Catherine from Neo Car Audio. Our Neo iPod adapters seamlessly integrate your iPod with your car stereo, providing clear audio while charging your iPod's battery. It also allows users to control the iPod using the iPod itself, steering wheel controls, and with the stereo buttons.
Now that's a great solution. Everything you could ask for. Great sounding audio, integrated battery charging, one simple cable, and it can be controlled with a stereo, steering wheel audio controls, or just by using the iPod. And that's a cool feature because it allows me to pass my iPod to rear seat passengers and let them play DJ. But hold on, I know what you're thinking. Once I buy it, how am I going to install it? Don't worry, it's really easier than you think.
Today we'll be installing the Neo iPod adapter in a Honda S2000. We chose this car because it's a typical installation and it should give you a pretty good idea of what will be involved.
So let's get started. The first and most important step in using the Neo Ion is setting the dip switches on the Ion box. The dip switch settings essentially let your Ion know what kind of stereo you'll be connecting your iPod to. After consulting the manual, we set ours for the Honda preset. With the Ion box ready to go, you'll need to grab a few tools. Make sure you have both a flathead and Phillips head screwdriver, a small or adjustable wrench, and a rag to help you avoid scratching any of your car's surfaces. And to avoid any dangerous situations, you'll also want to make sure the ignition is turned off and to disconnect the negative cable from the battery. Also, consult your manual regarding car stereo security codes. Some cars will require you to enter a code upon reconnection if the stereo is disconnected or loses power. Now for the actual installation. You'll need to figure out how to get to your car stereo. In the case of the S2000, using our screwdriver and a rag, we simply need to remove the trim panel on the center stack. As you can see, by removing this one panel, we have clean access to the stereo. Getting to the stereo will be different on each car, but essentially it's a similar process. Now we'll need a place for the Ion cable to exit the center stack. So on the S2000, we have removed the side trim panel which allows us to feed our cable to our iPod. With all the panels out of the way, taking out the radio is now a matter of removing the 4 screws that hold it in place, then pulling it out of its slot. On the back of the stereo, you'll find an empty port. Here, simply plug in the Ion's vehicle-specific harness. If an existing changer is plugged into this port, you'll have to unplug it first, but that's no big loss since your iPod holds far more CDs than your changer could ever imagine. Believe it or not, it's all downhill from here. Plug in the free end of the harness into the Ion's box, then, on the opposite side, connect the Ion's white iPod cable. With everything connected, route the iPod cable out the side panel and make sure you leave yourself some slack to work with. Now, it's a matter of making everything fit. Carefully tuck the Ion box and the cables into the cavity behind or under where the stereo will sit, and make sure there are no loose wires impeding the stereo's pathway. Now slide the stereo back into position. If you feel any resistance, pull it out and reconfigure the Ion box and cables so that nothing gets pinched or smashed. Once the stereo is situated, put everything back into its proper place, reconnect the battery, and you're done. Now connect your iPod and push play. Set the stereo to the CD changer mode, and you should hear clean audio coming from your speakers. Overall, it's a pretty easy installation, and it should take you less than an hour to finish. And that's a small price to pay for great audio from your iPod. For more information about the Ion, visit mp3yourcar.com.